Have fun, boys!
All right, you'll go on the chief referee's whistle. We will say, riders ready.
All right, right off the bat, you guys, my legs weren't particularly good today, but I'm determined to show all 10 stages of the Intelligentsia Cup, so that's what I'm going to do, and that's bike racing, you know? Either you win or you learn, and I still have a lot to discuss about this stage, so let's get into it. Oh, and also, my front camera settings were a little bit screwed up, so like the resolution and the smoothing isn't as good, but at least we get this really nice super slow-mo of these guys crashing. All right, this is stage 2 of the Intelligentsia Cup. This is Lake Ellyn. And man, it was just a brutal fight for position all day. Look at that course profile on the right, or course map rather, on the right. There was tons going on. It was a really fun course though. So let's go through a lap and talk you through some of the major features here. You can see some gaps opening up on the start-finish. That was pretty common because of that left-hander. We'll get around to that, though, as we come through this lap. First, you're hit with the chicane, and it really squeezed a lot of riders. So if you're up towards the front, you're able to take that a lot faster than if you're mid-pack, like I am right here. You can see now it's all single file. That's what I'm talking about. It gets all squished. So you really benefit from being towards the front in that case, or just right off the back. The worst place to be is right in the middle because riders come in like 5 or 6 wide. And then you come up this hill. It doesn't look like much right here, but it's probably 4 or 5%, something like that. You definitely start feeling it towards the end of the day, and it was a hot day for sure, so I was still adjusting to that. I found good lines coming on the outside through this this little cutout here on the right where the buses park. There's where it ends right there. A good line was coming up on the right and just carrying your speed right over the top of the hill. A lot of riders slow down at the top of the hill because they're tired. It's a hill. But if you just stay on the gas and go to the right there, you can pass a lot of people. There's a curb. People were hopping it. You can see them right there. I hopped it a couple of times only because people were in my way on the right. But you really didn't benefit from hopping it too much. And you come down this little hill. You make a right-hander. And it's real fast through here, and this is by the lake. This is a lot of fun. It's really smooth pavement. And you can just you can stay in the draft. This is one of the few areas on the course where you can hang out, chill, sit in the draft, and not go completely crazy. Of course, I'm just doing 500 watts there for a second. But in most cases here, you can kind of chill through here. It's starting right about here. It's kind of a lazy downhill, maybe a 2% downhill, and then it drops down right here again. And this was a good place. Another good place I found to move up was before the hairpin. We'll talk about the hairpin in a second, but coming up on the right here, as people were setting up for the hairpin, they often left this gutter open, and you could just pedal all the way through and pass a bunch of riders. That was kind of a bad example this lap, and I took this hairpin okay. You could pedal through the whole thing if you take a good line, and then you don't have to do this 900 watt surge like I just did. I mean, you're gonna have to do a watt bomb after you come out of that second one to get back up to speed, because boom, right here you're hit with another hill, and the front is kind of taking off because they took that hairpin fast. You know they did. All it takes is one person in front of you to take a less than ideal line, and then it's like a traffic jam. Everyone behind you suffers. So the front's going fast, and then the middle and everyone towards the back is going slow, and that's when it gets strung out. And you're really just playing catch-up all the way until this left-hand corner, at which point the front, again, is taking a better line, and that's why it gets really stretched out here. You can see gaps opening up, riders coming out of the pit. And this was a place right here that was kind of dangerous because some riders were just dying after the hairpin acceleration, and then you're hit again with that hill. And as it stretches out, you have one more difficult acceleration in the final left-hander into the start-finish straightaway, and some riders are just dying, letting gaps open up. But then it starts to accordion like it is right now, and the front starts to slow down in preparation for the chicane. This is a good opportunity to move up. I don't do the best job right here just because I had nowhere to go on the right, but when the front slows down like that, it might feel like a good opportunity to catch your breath. I mean, my heart rate was 170. But really, that's the moment when you're able to move up almost for free. Sometimes, like literally for free, you just don't have to touch your brakes if you can find a good line. And if you're kind of further back like I am here in less than ideal position, take that opportunity to move up get into position, or if you're already in great position up towards the front, that's a fantastic opportunity to attack. I talk about it in my videos a lot, where when the front's slowing down, just continue pedaling and do that slingshot thing where you come by with speed, because the biggest factor to a successful breakaway is just a speed differential between you and the riders on the front, so nobody can jump on your wheel. So, you know, I just walked you through the course. It didn't take me long to figure out that this is going to be really difficult. You can see riders already on the left there getting dropped. That was happening really early on and pretty frequently, so you'd think I'd learn my lesson and try to move up into good position. And in my defense, I was. I mean, this is a really difficult course. There are only a few places where you can successfully move up. I'm losing ground here, going like 400 watts. So you know, I was trying to move up, like I said, right off the bat. This was a battle for position all day, this course, and it was more like attrition. There were small little breaks that went here and there, but nothing too threatening. But still, I mean, we only finished with about half the riders that we started with. So it was definitely just one of those days where riders were falling off the pace, which meant that, you know, position was especially important, because as riders get dropped, gaps open up, maybe somebody can't close that gap, and next thing you know it, you might be getting gapped off the back, which is what ended up happening to me quite a few times towards the end. Here's this Kelly rider starting to fall off the pace. Texas Roadhouse guy recognizes what's going on, and I just respond probably later than I should have, and you just got to be really careful, because that could have happened, you know, 10 wheels in front of me, and I wouldn't have known about it. The gap would have opened up, my race would have been over, the top 10 guys would have just ridden away. But instead, this time it cost me, you know, quite a big effort to close this gap down. And again, you know, that's the consequence of being out of position on a difficult technical course like this one. And the problem I'm having now is, other than having to close these gaps down, is I waited way too long to try to move up into good position. Look how single file it is. This is about a lap and a half to go, and I mean, I'm not in terrible position here. I'm probably like within the top 25% of the riders who started, but in terms of just how far it is between me and the front of the race, maybe only 25 riders, but since everyone's single file, it's like impossible to move back up into position as long as the all-star teams are on the front driving the pace. And this is why it's just so important to be in the right position in the closing laps. Oftentimes, by the time you find out it's time to move up, it's too late. And I'm still playing catch up here on the last lap. I'm still making up some ground, but you can see here on the left, Project Echelon riders are pulling off. They're just doing their work on the front to keep their sprinter, Brandon, in position. And it's just too little too late for me. I was another rider getting dropped there on the right. I was just out of position once things really started to heat up in the last couple of laps, and now I'm paying for it. I really should have been up there in the top 10 or 15 and really benefited from the teams driving the pace on the front. One last desperate effort here to try to make up some ground. I'm thinking maybe there's a chance I can still pass a number of riders and get into the money or the omnium placing. But man, look at these gaps opening up in front of me. I'm in a lot of trouble here, and obviously, you know, a top 10 is out of the picture now. And as I come down this hill and around the corner, you can see on the left just the splintered group in like 4s and 5s off the front. So I wasn't the only one who really suffered on this course, and it looks like it really took its toll on everybody. And that was pretty much it for me. So better than yesterday, but not as good as tomorrow. Like I said, guys, I keep improving in these Intelligentsia Cup races. So look out for Stage 3 coming your way, and subscribe if you like it. Make sure you don't miss any of the future videos. Thanks for watching.
Stage 2 of the Intelligentsia Cup. It's all about timing here. Now they open up the sprint. Watch for the early jump. Here comes Hayden Strong. Hayden Strong, Texas Roadhouse. Hayden Strong gets it done. The team was perfect tonight, and the Kiwi wins for Texas Roadhouse.